Alrighty, welcome back everyone. Welcome back. We just finished watching first of all, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of all ages, New Jersey fans alike, welcome back to another episode of Devil's Den. And tonight, the New Jersey Devils lose to the Carolina Hurricanes 1-0 in overtime in arguably their best defensive game of the year. So, before we jump into the game tonight, really quickly, we are sitting at 67 subscribers. So, for those of you who are new, welcome on in, and we actually have a little bit of an arrangement, a little bit of a deal, you might say, going on right now. So, if we hit 80 subs by the end of March, you guys are going to be getting extra content. I mean, a live show right after it's either going to be a live show directly after the game before I make the Devil's Den video, or it's going to be probably an hour-long podcast probably once or twice a week. We shall see. Anyways, help us get to 80 subs by the end of March, and you guys get that extra content. I think the last time I made a video, we were at 64. Now we're at 67. Progress is being made. Anyways, now that's done, New Jersey loses in overtime to the Carolina Hurricanes. And you might be asking, why are you so happy despite losing 1-0? Here's why. Tonight, and I've already said it, tonight was the best, hands down, best defensive effort that we have seen all year. Vitek Vanacek putting on one of the best goalkeeping games he's had all season, okay? Guy makes 30-plus saves tonight, lets one goal in off a rebound in the air. Anyone blaming Vanacek, you can see yourself out, okay? This was hands down the best overall defensive and goalie nights of the year, bar none. Bar none, okay? Specifically, and I'm gonna call guys out for a quick second. Ball and Marino, I thought, had great games all around. Nemitz also had a pretty good game, but specifically Ball and Marino. I've been wondering for a while, why we decided to keep Ball for as long as we've had. And the mindset was, well, we want a defenseman that can lay a hit. He's a big-bodied guy, but, no one has seen this all year. No one's seen Ball do this, but tonight, there was a couple of times, specifically with, what's his face? Michael Bunting for Carolina, where Ball took him out several times, used the body, was physical, and, did a really good job tonight at, just doing his job defensively. You have the big overbearing body, use it, my dude. John Marino also had a great game, saved, I would say, probably 2 or 3 high-danger chances for Carolina, and he broke those up with brilliance. You know, he's a little, in the opposite to Ball, he's a smaller guy, a little bit of a smaller frame, but he gets that stick out, and every time Carolina tries something, he was right there. Overall, though, defensively, this team was blocking shots. They had sticks out. They were staying with their man. They seemed calm under pressure, which is something that we've been missing all year, where you kind of see New Jersey, after they go down by a goal or 2 or 3, they get really frantic and panicky. But this time, they seemed calm, collected, relaxed, but still on top of their roles. Great game all around. We do get a point, because it did go to overtime, so I believe we are, I want to say, I think we're 1 or 2 points behind the Islanders, and I think we're 5 points out of a wild card spot. This is totally doable, but New Jersey's gotta go on a run. One thing I wanted to mention tonight, is I was kind of debating whether I wanted to be a dick this episode, and I decided, why not? It's fun. It's fun, and yeah, so I'm just gonna do it. Can I ask a question? Or a legitimate question? Where was the offense? When I know it's cool and popular and fun to shit on the defense and the goalkeeping, but where was the offense tonight, folks? We had a couple of good chances, that's true, but is this offense incapable of scoring goals unless we're down by like 2+ goals a game? Then we decide to start scoring. Like, when you have all of the offensive weapons, Jack Hughes is back in the lineup, and to be fair, in his 2 games since he's been back, he does have like I think the most or the second most shots on net, but like, where's the offense, guys? There's no excuse. All the pieces are there. All the pieces are back for the offense. So where is it? We had 4 power play tonight, guys. 4 power play opportunities. Okay? That's 8 minutes worth of hockey where you had more guys on the ice than they did, and you still couldn't put it in. You've got guys like Hughes and Bratt and Hughes and Toffoli and Hischier, and you guys can't put it in the back of the net? Like, what is it about our offense not being able to do enough? And just, it makes the other goalie look like the second coming of, like, Martin Brodeur or Patrick Waugh or, like, any of the great goaltenders through the years. And let me be clear, the Carolina goalie did a really good job tonight. It did, but, like, how? You have all of the offensive weapons at your disposal, and you still can't get the job done. Oh, God. Oh, God. I don't know. It's weird to me. It's like when you watch a Leafs game or like an Edmonton game where you've got guys like Matthews and Marner and Tavares and Nylander and Draisaitl and Hyman and McDavid, and like they can't score a goal. You've got all these weapons and you can't do anything with it. Like, it's like the Devils are like, you know what? We're gonna let Carolina go up by 1, and then we'll start scoring again, right? Because like, it's so weird that this team, first of all, can't score the first goal in a game. They just can't, right? And then second of all, they can't score on 4 power play opportunities where they have the advantage, and can't seem to score a goal when the game is tied for 60 minutes. I don't know. It's weird. It doesn't make any sense. But I digress. I'm yelling, and it's like past 10 o'clock at night, and I got people in my family who are probably asleep at this point. But yeah, no. I think this is a really good game. Really good step forward, really good, push for the playoffs, because it's starting to feel like, especially after last game, that it really didn't feel like we were going to be able to do a whole hell of a lot in this playoff race. And it's games like this where we need to I know the New Jersey has had a lot of bad games this year. I get that. I've watched a lot of them, right? But it's kind of nice when you have a game like tonight, despite losing, that, like, you kind of look back on these games and remember, oh yeah, this team's pretty good when it wants to be. This team can play defense. This team can get some pretty good goaltending when it wants to. And it's nice to have games like this to look back on when we're losing 5-0. It really is, because it's like, oh yeah, it's a nice reminder that, hey, this team is good. Hey, this team can put in the work. Hey, this team can give really good performances to the point where they can hold Carolina, arguably one of the best teams in the East, to like, I know score throughout 60 minutes of hockey. And it's nice to see, and I know how much people love the shit on Vanecek. I understand that. He hasn't had a good year. But, like, it's nice to see games like this where we go, oh, yeah, Vanecek is an NHL caliber goaltender. Right, he can put on performances where he's basically shutting out high-powered offense. It's really good to remind ourselves of, hey, we're not shit. Let's remember that. And again, this is without pieces like Hamilton, like Siegenthaler, who I know has not had a good year before he got taken out from injury. But again, these are guys who, when at their high times, were really great defensemen. Hamilton is just another defensive and offensive piece that this team has. So, before I wrap this video up, I wanted to kind of talk really quickly about the trade deadline that's coming up in less than a month, because I believe it's March 8th is the trade deadline. So, I don't know if any of you guys were watching Sportsnet tonight, but during the intermission, one of the analysts was talking about how talks between the Devils and the Flames are in serious conversations about getting Markstrom from the Flames to come over to the Devils. So, obviously, and I think this is a fairly obvious thing, Markstrom is fantastic. He is. He's a really great goaltender. He was really great with Vancouver until he started his decline. He was really great with the Flames and still is a high-caliber, elite NHL goaltender that is relatively healthy, not relatively that old, so you can go with him and get at least 2 or 3 years of really good goaltending out of Markstrom. The question is, because I believe they were talking about the big holdup right now, is retention. How much money is New Jersey going to accumulate of Markstrom's contract, and how much is Calgary going to retain of Markstrom's contract so that New Jersey doesn't have to take on like $6 to $7 million in cap space? Now, to be fair, right now is not necessarily terrible cap space for New Jersey. You've got guys like Siegenthaler on injured reserve. You've got Hamilton on LTIR, which is long-term injured reserve. So we have extra cap space to deal with this kind of stuff, right? So we can make room, but New Jersey, which only has about $11 or $12 million in cap space, doesn't want to be taking $6 to $7 million of a Markstrom contract and adding that to our cap, which, to be fair, is going to go up next year, not by a crazy amount, but naturally, as you see higher paid contracts like Matthews at like $13 million, that the NHL is going to slowly kind of increase that cap space as the years go on, just to kind of make room for these high-powered contracts. So, the question is, if you are the GM, and I'm going to start doing this at the end of every single video, if you've made it this far, what would you do with Markstrom? Who would you give away for Markstrom? And how much money do you think New Jersey should take of Markstrom's contract? And how much money do you think that Calgary should retain if this deal goes forward? Because it's an interesting question, because there's no way that you're getting Markstrom for free. You're not getting Markstrom for like some AHL guy and like maybe a 5th or a 4th round pick. There's no way you're doing that, right? So what would you, I'm talking to you guys, the comment section, what would you guys give up for Jacob Markstrom to make this team good, to make this team compete for a playoff spot, but not cripple the team when you give too much away? So, that's going to be the question of the episode. Again, if you've made it all the way to the end, congratulations. Thank you for sticking around. And again, let's bump our subscriber counts to 80. Remember, we're 13 subscribers away. 13. That's not a whole hell of a lot, guys. We can do this. Extra content is just around the corner. So, that's going to be it for me. And that's going to call it for another episode of Devil's Den. And I will see you guys in the next one, Monday night, against the Seattle Kraken. Adios.